Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Angela Wilkinson. I am here with Bertrand Dory, and we're going to talk about guilt today. He has an upcoming book, and this is a very powerful and powerful subject that all of us have dealt with at one point in our lives. And Bertrand is the author of Conversations for Your Soul, an inspirational and transformational speaker, an international, global, international radio host, a personal transformational and executive coach, and founder of Design Your Dream Life. And he's a wonderful dad. Bertrand is an expert and authority in personal transformation and is bringing his wisdom, his life experience, and insights to helping people unleashing their true potential, embracing their authentic gifts, and expressing their greatness. His mission is to help people have a better, more peaceful filled life and enjoy their present moments, especially with their children. So, welcome, Bertrand. So glad to have you here.
Thank you very much, Angela, for this. And it's really an honor to be here with you today and to talk about this subject that is really impacting the life of millions in the world. And for me, it's really close to my heart, especially with the impact that it does on children. So thank you.
Yeah. So why did you choose to write about guilt? Can you tell us what guilt is exactly?
Yeah, guilt is not really an emotion. It's something that we even say that we are feeling guilty. It's something that is linked to what is right or wrong inside of us. It's conscience based, so which means that we are basing our full value on what we feel about ourselves when we're feeling guilty. So it's something that makes us wrong. It's a part of us that we don't want to recognize. It's a part of us that is always sticking us. It's always stalking us into our life. It's behind the scenes. And then it makes us feel that we're not good enough. We're not enough for other people. Because everywhere we go, we bring this emotion with us. And what's happening when we bring this emotion with us is that we feel that part of us is something that cannot be loved, cannot be accepted, something that we need to hide, something that we need to repress, and so on. And our mind is trying to protect this part, because if we start to get really aware of it, it is scared that we will reject ourselves from ourselves. And that's why it's stopping people in their lives, it's stopping people having a good life. Sometimes people are feeling guilty because they have a better life than other people, or they are doing things that religion says, you can't really do this, you can't really have this, it's not really great, it's not really good, you are a sinner, and so on. And it's keeping us from success in our life, from having a successful life. Whatever it means for anybody is a little bit different, but to be happy, to be healthy, to be wise, to be just in the flow, to have a great relationship, and so on. And sometimes also it gets triggered. So the guilt is always here, and our life becomes too good, or we are doing something that we feel it's not good, it's bad, and it's get triggered like a light switch. And then we just sabotage completely our life, and we do things that we never thought we would do, and I will tell you a little bit later about what I did. And we either don't finish projects, we don't do projects because it's too good for us, because we are feeling that part of us, we are a bad child, a bad boy, or a bad girl, or a bad man, or a bad woman, and we don't deserve this. And that's what guilt is doing.
Yeah. So it sounds like it really impacts our lives in lots of different ways, both in the smaller areas of our life and then those deeper parts of our lives as well. Do you want to talk more about that, how it impacts our lives?
Yeah. And you're right, it impacts us in smaller and day to day. And every time we go close to a goal. That's why a lot of people are procrastinating. So we work on projects, we start to dream, we start to really use every tool that we have, every talent, gift that we really have inside of us. And suddenly we don't finish this. We don't, and you probably are also doing the same, or I did the same quite a lot. I work
Yeah.
on a lot of projects and I don't go to the next level. I don't really market it. I don't campaign it. I don't tell people about this, because if I get success and if I'm a bad person deep inside of me and it's not conscious, it's always unconscious, then I will have a conflict of values. So I can't get successful because part of my mind thinks that I'm a bad person. And
Hmm.
it's all about our mind, because this mind of ours is just an amazing machine. It can create amazing things in our life. And when we are struggling, it just creates all the condition where we attract the wrong people in our life, we attract problems, we attract a car failure, we attract different emotions. We want to succeed, and sometimes we don't feel that we deserve to succeed, and suddenly we are completely stuck. And this mind also is putting us, by generating some conditions, some emotions, into this fight or flight situation. And the fight or flight is not because our life is in danger. Well, our mind may think that we're in danger because there is an autonomous nervous system that really help us to stay alive, with our heart, digestion, nervous system, but also that trigger some alarm bells when there's real danger. And the
Hmm.
biggest danger you can see when we have guilt inside of us is that we are going to reject ourselves from us. And that's really like a life or death question for our mind. And
Yeah.
how it impacts us is that we can have a good life, and at some stage we just have something that happens, a little trigger or something exists, and we have to get rid of it. Or we are getting too close to a goal that is ours, and then we are feeling that we don't deserve this. Or we are feeling that I am guilty about doing something, not doing something, saying something, and I don't deserve this. I don't want to be better than my parents. And it just stops us right in the middle of an idea, right in the middle of a relationship, right in the middle of even of our health. Because our mind can create cancer, can create illnesses, can create depression, can create anything that we want. It's so powerful. And if you are feeling that we are not worthy or deserving, it will stop us.
Yeah.
And then we have this idea that it's too good for me. I cannot
Mm.
have this. I will never have this. And then our life is just going into the downward spiral where we can't seem to get out of this. And that's what I found with most people. And it was true for me too. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can really tell as you're talking about it that it seems like you've had a really personal experience with guilt. And so I would love to hear what kind of catalyzed you. What was the turning point, or what was it that happened in your life that you felt so called about writing about guilt?
yeah, it happened a few years ago when I had a great life. But what I want to say first is that I found that my personal experience and personal experience of a lot of people where I'm talking or where I'm sharing or coaching, or just when I'm in a situation where we can address this subject, it's true for a lot of people. And the similar experience, I'm not saying it is the same, but there are triggers like this that are just getting very activated, or people are very frustrated in their life because they're trying all the self-help tools, they're trying some EFT or other techniques, and nothing seems to work. And I was in the same situation. So that's why I decided that I need to investigate more what was happening. And roughly 4.5 years ago, I was having really a dream life. I had great projects. I had a great job. I was traveling across Europe, across the world. I was doing what I really loved the most, which was implementing new projects, new technology, influencing, doing some innovation. And I was really well paid for this. And I had a great relationship. And what happened is that the week before Christmas, and this year, I was going to go on holidays with my girlfriend at the time. And when I left my daughter with her grandparents, I looked in her eyes and then I felt so guilty. But our mind is so clever that I didn't really feel it very long because it generated a lot of other conditions so that it was repressed a little bit. But I was feeling guilty, and within 2 weeks after, I created, Angela, all the situations. I managed to get rid of my relationship. I managed to get rid of my job. I managed to get rid of travel. I managed to get rid of my income. And I was then going down into a spiral of I'm not good enough. I will never get successful. I will never have an income. I'm a bad person. I had an argument with my family, and everything in my life collapsed. And that was just a trigger at this moment in the eyes of my daughter that I saw that I was at risk of being a bad dad or bad person, and I had to get rid of this. I didn't find this at the time because none of the personal development tools or books out there are really talking about this guilt or shame or resentment or repression or anger that we have, because they're all talking about creating our lives. But it was so deep and same time so hidden that I couldn't find. So
Hmm.
I decided then to look a little bit more into this because, okay, I know that I'm a great dad, and I know that my daughter would have survived and she had a good time and so on, but why was I feeling so bad about this? And by doing my inner work and applying some tools that I'm also sharing in this upcoming book, is that I started to realize that I had a guilt when I was 4 with my brother, who was going to to one of our grand aunt because she needed somebody to be with her. And at the time, I was feeling very guilty about this. Of course, I didn't remember this was part of our family. This was normal in our family. So there was no real sense of attachment or sense of guilt or sense of nothing about this. It was really neutral. But when I was doing this work on myself, I found that I was a bad brother. I was even happy that he was selected, not me, and these kind of things. And all of this was staying in my mind. And this look in my daughter's eyes triggered this. And I could not live with myself being a bad person. And none of this was conscious, Angela. But that was really the amazing thing, that I didn't remember this. I didn't even feel anything about this. And it was far from being on my mind when this thing happened. So
Hmm.
everybody has this, and that's what guilt can do. It can be triggered, or it can really sabotage our life if we don't accept this or don't allow it to be okay.
Yeah. When I think, yeah, how your life experience in that example, showing how something that happened when you were a child, it was just kind of in there deep inside, right? Kind of um, maybe strengthening over time, but you weren't aware of it until, like you said, that moment when you looked in your daughter's eyes and it triggered that. And then from that point, you sabotaged, unconsciously sabotaged all of those great things in your life so you would again feel those feelings again. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, I think that there was a part of me that wanted to discover this and a part of me that didn't want to discover this, because it's never nice to look back at your life and say, you know what, I had these feelings, I had this thought in my mind, I was nearly happy, I was feeling guilty at the same times, I was feeling that I was, because I was the biggest brother, so it was in my mind as a child my job to take care of my brothers, and which is normal in some way, but that was out of my control. But I was still carrying this, and I feel that this is happening for a lot of people. And there's another example that I remember. There was one guy one day who could not make any money and was losing all of his money because he received the money as a gift from his parents who died in a car accident when he was 6. So he always attached the money with the death of his parents, and he carried the guilt of the death on his own shoulders. And he was so powerful in using his mind that all his investments and everything that he was putting the money, even if the bank were performing well with other customers, his investment went down and down and down and down. He had to get rid of this. He did
Wow.
not know, he did not remember, and it was only by working with him that this emerged, and this could be then expressed and made right for him again.
Hmm. Yeah. So why is it that it's so destructive? Because clearly in your own personal life and with this client of yours, situations happened where everything, you lost everything. So how is it, why is it that it's so destructive?
Because we are facing the risk of being seen by ourselves as a bad person. And also, we are facing the risk that other people will discover this also. So it's better to be miserable in your own life and struggle and be distracted by even a depression, even by money problem, even by not having a relationship or going to bad dates after one bad date, or
Hmm.
or anything that can distract us from feeling or even touching this possible reality that we are bad in our core, that
Hmm.
we are rejected, that we are rejecting ourselves, that we come to the realization that, you know what, my life is not worth living because I'm just a very, very bad person. And the wrong and right that we are judging ourselves with is based on our conscience. Conscience? I don't know exactly how to say this in English, but that's
Hmm.
exactly what it is. And because guilt is everywhere in our society, it's amazing how much parents are guilting children, for example. But religion, we know that some religion. I'm more familiar with the Christian religion, is that you are a sinner before being a person. So as soon as you're born, you're already a sinner. So all the expression, sexual expression, money expression, and all that are seen as bad by our mind because we have been so programmed that this is bad, that this is a sin, and so on. The media are continually reinforcing this sense of guilt. So they're showing pictures of starving children. They're showing pictures that rich people, like the series Dallas, that's probably very very well known in the U.S. also, where we
Hmm.
see the very rich people being bad people. So suddenly we don't want to be associated with this because they are bad, they're hurting others. If I'm getting this, I'm going to hurt others, so I will be bad also, and so on. And it's all about not facing this kind of, not reality, but this kind of truth that we have inside of us, which is not really a truth, but it's something that is based on our own judgment and on our own values and our own experience.
Mm. Yeah. So something you said that caught my attention, I just really want to go back really quick and so it sounds like we, instead of feeling that feeling of guilt or experiencing that, that we create all these coping mechanisms or ways to avoid going into that feeling or into that space of re-experiencing that. And it sounds like that's why it becomes so destructive in your life is because you're avoiding it, and that just strengthens it.
Exactly, exactly. We are not only avoiding it, we are protecting it, and that's even more destructive, because it's like, and I like to take this example. It's like when you are cleaning your house and you have a little bit of dust and you shoved it under the rug. It's okay. So you know that you shoved it under the rug. It's repressed and nobody will see it. But then suddenly you have, let's say, your mom-in-law coming in your house, and you know that she's a little bit, she's looking everywhere, and she may discover this. You will go at great lengths to avoid her to go close to your carpet, so she will not find this under, because you have shame, because you're feeling that if she finds this and she's going to judge you, then you may lose your husband and so on. Your mind is just going to go into a drama-filled story. And it's the
Hmm.
same with our guilt. So we, at some level, know this. I guess that we all know this. It's not conscious, but it's something that we're so scared that other people will find, and then will say, this guy is really a bad person. Look at this. He's wrong. He's bad. He's not. He doesn't have any good values, and so on. And we're so scared that we are rejected at our core for who we are. Our core meaning our spiritual being also, that we are going to defend, to protect it, and protect it more from ourselves than other people also. And that's why it's highly destructive, because who wants to face this kind of realization? I
Hmm.
think nobody. Because if we are rejecting ourselves from ourselves, then we can't be part of society. And of course, we're human beings. We need other people. We all crave for love. And if we're not lovable, then we will never get this. So it's better to repress this. It's better to hide this. It's better to keep it very hidden. But like the dust under the carpet, it's always here. At some stage, it has to emerge in a certain way. And usually, it's one of the triggers, or it's in the manifestation of great, great pain and suffering for us. Even cancer. I know how stretched it is for some people to think this, but it's better to have an illness like this in our mind, something that we can control to some level, rather than facing this fear of what we may be judging ourselves
Yeah.
of being. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So I'm curious then. So what is it that's going to be in your book? So I know you're putting that together and yeah, so give us a little sneak peek. What's in there?
Yeah, so the book is, but first it's my, I'm taking a lot of examples just so that I really want to demystify this, because when I'm in talking with people, as soon as we approach the subject and we make it right for people, or not right, maybe okay for people to say, okay, I have this emotion, I have this guilt, I have these ideas of myself, and they're all okay because they were all created at some stage in our life to protect ourselves, but they have outlived the purpose. So once we demystify this, that's one of the aspects that I really want to get out of the book. So it's just to show that it's okay to have them. I know that before we talked, I took out a coin, but I think this coin is very important, because if you look at the coin, is you can't go out in life with only one side of the coin. I can try, it will never work, because I need to take the other side with me. And it's really to realize that we have the two sides. We have some shadow side emotions, we have some emotions we don't like, we have some part of us that we don't like. But if we are really saying that they are bad, again, into our value system, then we can't take the good. We can't take what we want to express. And really want to make people aware of this, and to not love, but to make the shadow sides okay. So that's what is here. It's also to understand how this guilt can keep people stuck. So sometimes it's so insidious and it's so hidden that people don't realize this. For example, if somebody does a great job and is helping other people and still doesn't get the money, doesn't get the reward, it could be that they are carrying at some level a guilt that my parents were struggling and so on. And so it's not really a belief, but I don't want to be better than them because I'm feeling guilty. If my life is better than theirs, then I will be a bad boy, because a good boy or good girl is always honoring their parents. So if I don't do this, if I don't get broke like that they were, and if I'm not really also seeking the love, because by being broke and being at the same level, I'm seeking the love. It's something that we may keep ourselves into a cycle of success, and then sabotage, success, sabotage, success, sabotage, until we get to, maybe I have some guilt here that I'm carrying. And one of the other aspects that I really want to get is, especially for parents, is to stop guilting their children, because this kind of guilt is very deep. And I was probably the victim of this also, and I guess a lot of people have been, but also I have been also feeling myself that I was guilting my own child. When I was hurt, I was using guilt at stages, and I really would like people not to use this anymore, because it is very destructive. Then we have awareness, we have the impact, the type of guilt, of course, being okay, and then some powerful techniques to be able to find, identify, being okay with them, embrace them, and in some cases also removes the belief system that has been created around this, because, as we said before, there is so much protection and so much mechanism to keep this away from everybody else, that we create our own belief system around this. Our mind does this. So it's how we also deal with this. And of course, it's body meditation, it's writing, it's belief work, it's energy work, and so on.
Wow. So it sounds like you're going to have an amazing, very powerful guide and book to share with people. And I know that you have an Indiegogo campaign that you just recently launched. So what I want to know is, how can we help you with your campaign? And Yeah, for anyone listening and they want to know how they can get your book, because it sounds like it can really change people's lives.
It will change people's life. And the reason why I'm saying this is because when I'm talking about this in talks, I saw people, um, old people, young people, very strong people, real men, really masculine men and so on, having tears in their eyes. I
Mhm.
saw walls crumbling. I saw weight being lifted. I saw smile reappearing. I saw people being more okay with their life within a couple of hours. So, and we did not really do the deep work here. We just made it okay. So in this book, when people get this, that it's okay to have this, and it's okay to have these feelings, and it's okay to to just express them. Doesn't mean that we are going to tell this to everybody, but it's just allowing your mind not to protect this. There is a great relief. So, and I really want to get this book to millions of people because there are so many people suffering, and I see this everywhere. Everywhere I'm going, I see this, and I can feel that this is a guilt behind this. Um, I also want to see this book being a change for the next generations. Because if parents stop guilting their children, the next generation will have less of this, maybe. I hope so. And bring peace to people and stop destroying their lives. So I'm looking for help to get this book big and wide and to get this campaign so that I can get a great distribution company that can print the book, put it in bookshops, help me with the marketing, help me getting the word out and also getting the right person that can help me with my English because English is not my first language, as you know, and
Mhm.
it's sometimes a bit challenging. So I have the great ideas, I have the great content, I have the research, I have the proof points, I know what I want to get to, and sometimes with some help of an editor, I can get this to the right level, so everybody can really benefit this. And I'm really
Yeah.
passionate about this, so people can go to the campaign. They can help with $10, $25, $100, whatever is comfortable with. They get one, two, three, or five copies of the book. They get my other book, Conversation for Your Soul, signed and sent to them. They get a mention in the books also because it's a team effort. And I think all together we can change the world. And if somebody gets a book, and they are in depression, or somebody gets a book and they are really feeling their life is not working, and they find out what it is because of reading the book, you can become the hero. You can become the person that can change their lives, and your name will be here. But you will know that you have made a huge, huge difference in somebody's life, and maybe in millions of people's lives. And that's why I need this help. And because it will be huge. It will have a huge impact on people's life, and maybe
Yeah.
people very close to you too.
Mhm. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, anybody that's listening that feels called to contribute in any way, yeah, I definitely invite you because I've come to know Bertrand over the last couple months, and I can tell you he's a man full of integrity and compassion, and I know that he has amazing things to share. And this book is going to be just another way to communicate this amazing message. So, I do say totally join the campaign, help spread the word, and help people transform their lives, and you included. Release yourself from the guilt because you don't have to carry that around. So before we wrap up, just want to see, Bertrand, do you have any last words that you want to share?
Yeah, I just want to express my gratitude already in advance because this will be a team effort. All together, we're going to create this, and I'm so excited about this, and I can already feel in my own eyes and the tears of other people when they release this. And I'm so grateful that I have this opportunity. I'm so grateful with you, Angela, that you are hosting this and really being my friend for the last couple of months, as you said, but that you are helping me also here. And for everybody, anybody who will contribute anything just to make this a reality and make this a reality at the right level, I'm already saying thank you. And thank you on behalf of myself, and thank you on behalf of anybody that we're going to help.
Yes. Thank you, Bertrand, again, and thank you everyone for joining us today.